The first method that you should avoid at all fucking costs is called jutting. Jutting is literally pushing your lower jaw in front. It's essentially giving yourself an underbite. Think about that Chad image, the Chad with the fucking super masculine jaw or handsome Squidward. So jutting, you're trying to mimic that. You're trying to create this hyper masculine jaw. Now, there's many fucking kids that have said, oh, I tried jutting and I fucked up my face permanently. Because if you start jutting and you fuck up your jaw, not only can you have to just be treated for TMJ or something like that, you might literally have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for an actual facial reconstructive surgery that you actually need at that point in time because you fucked yourself up by being so crazy about looksmaxxing. So what should you actually do? If you actually have a jaw structure issue, see an orthodontist and, you know, a fucking maybe headgear or braces, whatever they need to do. I don't think a single one of you guys watching this is actually in that category. I think the vast majority of you are either haven't leaned maxed and seen what your jaw can actually be, or you haven't fucking gone through puberty and you need to wait until you're like 25 to actually determine what you're gonna look like. Your mind and your fucking body are gonna be developing till then if you're a guy, so just fucking chill. All right, technique number 2 is honestly a little bit disturbing to me. It's called Perma squinting. Literally, you are permanently fucking squinting. The reason why you want to do this, in theory, if you're a looksmaxxer, is that upper eyelid exposure is unattractive. Look, we all know that actual real genetic hunter eyes, you look like a fucking like lion or some shit. You're a fucking Giga Chad if you have those eyes naturally. If you don't have those eyes naturally, what you're gonna need to do is soft maxing techniques to basically make your eyes pop more. Now, girls have been doing this forever. It's eyelash extensions, mascara, that shit like that. We're gonna get into some male equivalents soon, but perma squinting, the reason why it's fucking bad is your eyes are some of the most important organs for transmitting information to your brain. If you are perma squinting from 14 to 18, your brain will literally not develop properly. If you are an adult and you start perma squinting, you will induce symptoms that are like actually like a disease state basically. Perma squinting is fucking dumb. What is a better solution? What you're actually wanting to do is have your eyes be essentially bright and awake, because like you don't want to have like this like droopy stoned eye thing, okay, admittedly. So some things you can do if you don't have those fucking incredibly Chadley genetic hunter eyes, which I don't, probably you don't, because unlikely you're watching a video related to looksmaxxing if you look like that, because you're like the fucking top echelon. Maybe that's not, we can cut that if it doesn't serve. But basically you can strengthen your eye and face muscles with face yoga and this basic exercise that's like over exaggerated blinking. So you blink hard, you open up your eyes hard, you hold that, you close. You can do that like throughout the day. It's probably better to do that without any fatigue. I'm just saying that like just based on logic. In general, you don't want things like that are looksmaxxing habits to fatigue a muscle. Another thing that you could do is from the girls basically, which is just to grow your eyelashes out. Now, I would advise using things like castor oil, rosemary oil, and not using things like lash serums. Honestly, not a fucking good idea to use. And you could even try a tactic that you might associate with being a little bit more feminine, but actually has very masculine origins, which is putting kohl on the rim of your eyes. Now, this is sort of similar to how girls use mascara, but the reason why it's actually fucking Chadley as shit, the falcon hunters on the Arabian desert put kohl on their eyes so they could hunt better. So literally the kohl shines light into the retina so you can see farther. It enhances your vision. That's a good option. It's actually something that I fuck with just because I feel like it makes my eyes pop like crazy. So the third looksmaxxing technique that will most likely fuck you up if you do it is called thumb pulling. Bro, if you have done this shit, please stop now. This is the worst fucking idea I've ever heard. You're literally taking your thumbs and you are pulling apart the palate of your mouth as hard as you can until you hear a pop. And the anecdotal reports of it being successful is like, I pulled for 30 minutes in the shower. I was in excruciating pain the whole time. Then I heard a pop and I felt like my palate expand along the seam by 0.5 millimeters. That is called injuring your fucking self. Literally injuring the soft palate of your mouth. Horrible idea. It's so fucking stupid, it's crazy. If you had a medical issue where you, for example, cannot breathe through your nose because your palate is compressed, which will constrict your nasal airways, you would go to an ear, nose, throat specialist. They would say, hey, that is the issue, and they would give you a palate expander. If you're doing it for aesthetics, that's not going to make you more aesthetic, genuinely. Like, it's much more likely to make it so you need to get some sort of facial reconstructive surgery or like emergency oral surgery because you genuinely fucked up the like hard structure of your mouth. Moral of the story is do not try to conduct plastic surgery on yourself without anesthetic, without training, with your thumbs in the fucking shower until you hear a pop. That is just so goddamn moronic. It's crazy that that has to even be said. All right, method number 4 that you should avoid at all fucking costs if you actually want to be a good looking human being and have success in your looks maxing journey is bone smashing. I mean, honestly, this is maybe even just a meme, but I actually do know that there are people that are doing this. If it's a meme to you, great. Like you are succeeding at understanding what is fucking bullshit and what is not. If you're actually doing this, this is perhaps like one of the worst ideas you could ever do. Why? What is bone smashing? It's essentially causing an injury to the bone, which causes bone remodeling, which in theory could cause a cheekbone to become more prominent because of bone remodeling. Okay, now there's a lot of assumptions here. One is the assumption that you injure yourself and that the healing process is controlled, okay? You're imagining that the way calcium and bone cells, osteocytes, deposit is going to be controlled and aesthetic, and that you will look like Chico or Jordan Barrett by the end. Much more likely is that you will fuck yourself up, break your cheekbone, need to get surgery, have a permanent little red mark on your cheek for the rest of your fucking life, or a little lump of bone or lump of scar tissue. Like, come on guys, like there's a reason why this is not more common. It's a fucking terrible idea. If you are a young man, you have not gone through puberty, your bone structure will change throughout the course of your life from testosterone, growth hormone, vitamin D, and use as well. You know, for example, if you are 15 and you lift until you're 25 and you get a DEXA scan, they will be like, you're in the top percentage of bone density. If you don't do shit, they will be like, dude, you're maybe at risk for osteoporosis in 10 years. The way you use your body changes your body. Yes, that's obviously true. But thumb pulling, bone smashing, any of this shit where you're trying to basically like accelerate some aesthetic change that is actually not realistic based on logic is fucking moronic, and you should avoid at all costs. The 5th looks maxing method to avoid at all costs, and I know some of you motherfuckers are doing this probably right now if you're edge maxing. Don't jelk. Jelking is a fucking terrible idea. I can't even explain it on YouTube because for obvious reasons. If you're at this point in the video and you don't know what jelking is, congratulations, you're in the rare breed, because probably if you're in this point in the video, you're deep into looks maxing, you're probably jelking. But dude, like this shit is not a good idea. It's not an efficient method, and what it really is doing is like causing small injuries. Peyronie's is caused by an accumulation of scar tissue with impaired healing. So it's probably best to avoid any of those factors. If you don't have genetically impaired healing, it's probably not going to be an issue. That said, you don't want to accumulate injuries and scar tissue in your manhood. It's just a fucking terrible idea. So what can you do instead? First, you want to make sure that you're optimizing everything. Optimize blood flow. Use red light on your balls. If you want to, take another step, you could try sustanch, which is a herb from traditional Chinese medicine that is commonly known as the stalk enlarger. That said, there are some actual well-researched ways to, enlarge your manhood safely. Ways that I've actually not seen anyone talk about. Whether it's Derek More Plates More Dates or Jesse or anyone else, I'm more than happy to do it. I've done some research on it. I'm aware of the science behind it. We could go into the detail if you guys want to. Moral of the story, don't jelk your Johnson. And overall, don't do looks maxing methods that fucking injure you, bro. The goal is to reach your genetic potential, not have insecurities permanently disfigure you, right? Like, Peyronie's sucks, bro. Having a fucking scar tissue lump on your cheek because you fucking bone smashed, you'd feel like a real dumbass, wouldn't you? Just don't do that shit. Good shit.